New York City, let's talk about it. First off, much love to everybody. Welcome back to the channel. We're smoking all my dragons, divine, righteous, almighty, greats, overachieving, never slacking. Today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of living in New York City. I lived in New York City for a while. I would say on and off for about a good 10 years. Like, I'm from upstate New York, but I was always going to New York City my whole life. So it's easy for me to talk about it like I really know the in and outs of New York City. But with that being said, let's get into the pros. So when I was 17 and I first went to New York City, first off, New York City, magnificent, beautiful city, right? When you think of New York City, you think of the Big Apple, the greatest city on earth. You think of the Empire State Building. You think of the Twin Towers, even though it's now the Freedom Tower. You think of so much, the Statue of Liberty. For me personally, I think you think of classic movies like Home Alone 2. Just so much beauty with New York. The pros is literally you can get your hands on anything. Like, any lane you need to get to is there. Like, if you want to get into camera work, it's there. If you want to get into sports, it's there. You want to do jiu-jitsu, you want to do boxing, you want to do judo, you want to do sambo, any martial art, you want to get into music, you want to get into festivals. Everything you can imagine is there, whether good or bad. You can get your hands on anything, right? So that was the pro. What are the pros? Just if you love people, so many people obviously everywhere. If you love nature, there's Central Park, parks like Central Park. Well, obviously there's only one Central Park, but there's other parks like, what was it called, Botanica Gardens in the Bronx. If you love animals, there's zoos, Bronx Zoo. You got a zoo in Central Park. If you love beaches, you got Coney Island in Brooklyn. Coney Island in Brooklyn. That I love that place. You can get anywhere with the metro train. You can just literally get on a train and just go anywhere, just ride, right? It may take you a while, but you can get anywhere. And it's not crazy expensive. The cons, the cons was, yes, you can get involved with anything, but everything costs a lot of money. Like, you have to have your money right. You have to have your money right. New York City, that's one of the places you don't want to live if your money not good, like if you're not situated, if everything ain't established, or at least on the way to being established, it's going to be more of a tease because you're going to see everything you want in your face, but you're not really going to be able to grab it because it may be too expensive. So sure, you may see things that you want to do, but you gotta have money. You gotta have money for a lot of things out there. I'm not gonna lie. Even trains. I mean, going to work. Sometimes it take me 2 hours to get to work and back. I worked in Lincoln Square. I worked in the Upper West Side of Manhattan. I've worked in the business district. I've worked in the Bronx. So it's like, even sometimes to get from one side of one borough to the other borough can be, with them delays and so much going, that could be a nightmare. That could be a nightmare. And you also got to be careful because, there's with so much people in New York City, there'll be a lot of people that could come up to you, try to scam you. Obviously, you have to watch your back. Nowadays, you hear about so many attacks, people going around punching people doing, just heinous acts to people. You have to watch your back. You will see disgusting things for sure if you're there long enough. I seen one guy spit in a trash can and then put his hand in there. Like, it was like, ugh. Like, you'll see some nasty stuff. Like, big rats. Like the rumors of the rats. They're not just rumors, right? If you've been to New York, that's true. That's another thing. You can get even if you get a nice apartment, which is expensive out there, man, you better be ready to pay at least $2,500 a month. But you get a nice apartment, roaches and rats, that's always kind of going to be a thing in New York City. It's very hard to avoid that. Mouse or rats, they're just rampant. They run that city, and anybody who disagrees is lying. The mouse, the rats, and the roaches run New York City. I'm very sensitive, so like oftentimes the air it'd be so polluted or so nasty that I could just start like, I'm the type of person I could look at something in the street and it looks so nasty, I start cringing and itching. So that was a big con for me. And me being such a nature lover, it was hard because, like, sure, I could go to Central Park. Sure, I could go to certain places, but you look up and you see the skyline and you realize you're not really truly in nature like that. You're still in the big city. And when you're trying to just get away from it all, that can be frustrating. It can be very draining. Being packed on those trains can be very draining. Always having to, like I said, spend money constantly could be very draining. It's like a place, if you want to keep up with the materialism, like that's, you're going to see that all day. It can be rough. So why I moved out of there was just ownership. I want to be a homeowner. So I bought a home, and I just knew what I wanted in life. So I made sure I got that. But other than that, it's like, it was a lot. It was a lot. Like I said, you meet a lot of nice people, but at the same time, you might be in a city full of a lot of people and feel like you're just a ghost. Especially you go during busy hours downtown, or just everybody's so used to seeing people, they're always kind of looking at you like they're looking through you, like you're just another person. You're not even there. Like, get out my way. That's the vibe. Like, people don't really care. Go time, fast, get out my way. I don't care. I'll never see you again. That became draining. Not to say I'm a big people person, but I'm the type of person, I do like to smile. I do like to say hi. I do like to, and then you can meet certain people, like I said, that maybe beautiful people, but I didn't meet too many like that. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I didn't meet too many like that. I met a couple though, but it's just so hard to trust people out there. It is, because you never really know who they are, and it's one thing I learned too is it's a lot more segregated than people think. It may be the biggest city on earth, but it is very segregated. Even when you spend enough time there, you definitely do start to miss it. It's not wrong with visiting every now and then for me personally, but living there is just a big no-no for me. A big no-no, right? So, yeah, if you think about going to the big city, there's some pros and cons. Just make sure your money right and have a plan for sure. With that being said, much love, yeah.